Hi everybody, here is the video to help you review for the topic 11 test that we will take on Tuesday. Remember, Monday is the all about fractions, and you also have a video already uploaded for you to use if you need it. Okay, so for this one, it's all about the reference sheet. You all have a reference sheet. If you don't have it, it's uploaded in Google Classroom, and it would be a lot more helpful if you could print it instead of using it on the computer. Because if you print it, we talked about what to write here to help you. And we want you to practice that because you get one like this on the FSA, except that there's no writing. You have to do your annotation here. You will get this for sure. And what is it that we talked about? First thing we decided is that all these numbers here in between should be circled. Or you don't need to circle all of them. You can circle the numbers you need when you need them, because then you don't have all those things. So you can do it that way too. But we know that these are the numbers that we are working with. How are we going to work with these numbers? So we talked about moving from one side to the other. So any of these units, if they give these to us and they want us to convert, for example, foot to inches, or yard to feet, or miles to feet, mile to yards, or even here, pound to ounces, ton to pounds, or kilometers to meters. As I check, if they give it to me in foot and they want the answer in inches, okay, I'm going in. I told you, put your finger on the word foot, and I'm going from foot to inches. So I'm going forward in the direction I read. So you multiply, and this number that is circled in the middle is what you multiply by. So this number is important to know. So if they give you a measurement in foot and they want the answer in inches, you multiply by that 12. The same, and that goes for all of them. From miles to feet, you multiply by this. From cups to fluid ounces, you multiply by it. With the same thinking, what happens if they give you the numbers in inches and ask you to convert to foot? Well, if you put your finger on the inches and you move to foot, you are going backwards on that sheet. Well, that's the opposite operation. You're going to divide. And again, if I'm going from inches to foot, I'm going backwards. So you know to divide, and we divide by 12. So why? That's why we circle these numbers. That's the number you're working with. You're either multiplying or dividing by those numbers, depending on which direction you are going on your sheet. Okay, so keep practicing this. This is just practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Okay, so now let's go to the next and do some questions. So I even put the thing here for you to see. I'm going to move myself out of the way. But here it gave it to me in gallons. They gave me 2 gallons, but they want the answer in quarts. And we had some word problems, right? You go to the store, your mom asks you to buy 2 gallons of milk. You get there are no gallons. You say, oh, what am I going to buy? Because they only have it in quarts. So you can't just buy 2 quarts because that is not enough. That is not 2 gallons. So what do you do? Let's see. We're going to go from gallons to quarts. Okay. So I go here. I find gallons. Oh, I see gallons here. Oh, it's going to quarts. So gallons to quarts. I'm going in the direction I read. So I multiply. And I multiply by, remember that number. The number here. Oh, it should be red. I'm multiplying by that number. So how many gallons? And one way sometimes I like to write is I like to write gallons. And I'm going to quarts. And I decided that I have to multiply. Well, what is the number of gallons? 2. And you multiply by that 4 equals the number of quarts, which is 8 quarts. Okay. Now with something else. We are going from 536 grams to kilograms. So let's find grams to kilograms. So grams, oh here, oh this grams goes to milligrams. So that's not helping me. I see grams here. Maybe you can see it. Sorry, you should be able to see it on your sheet though. Grams to kilograms. I'm going backwards. From grams to kilograms, I'm going backwards. That means I'm going to divide, and I'm dividing by this 1,000. So it's 536 divided by 1,000. Now remember, we talked about this. We even did some examples. First of all, I know 536 is less than 1,000. So you know your answer is not even going to be a 1. It's going to be a decimal. 536 is not enough to divide by 1,000. So you're going to only get a decimal there. So you know your answer is going to be a decimal. That is already very helpful. Then we think about the shifting, and we shift 3 times. This is the same thing as 10 to the third power, remember? Or 10 times 10 times 10. So that tells you how many times we are shifting. And we are shifting to the right. Now, I don't want you to memorize. Do I shift right? Do I shift left? You have to understand your place value chart. Okay, on your place value chart, the numbers, when you move on your place value chart, so you have, let's say you have, this one is the hundreds, then we have tens, ones, then we have the decimal point between the ones and the tenth, the hundredth, and the thousandth. So let's write this number, 536. Why am I saying I'm shifting to the right? Well, if you're dividing by 1,000 people, and I already said it's not enough to give 1 to each person, it's going to be a decimal. So obviously, this 5 is not going to be moving to the left, because otherwise that value of 500 could turn to 1,000, 10,000, and that's not it. It's going to get smaller. Okay, so we shift, like I said, the 3 times here. So think about the 5. And if you know your place values, the names, that is a good way to memorize. So from 5, it is in the hundreds place. While you're going to shift it to only, here is once. It's going to the tenth place. It would be, instead of 500, it would be 50. But that is shifting only once. Let's shift one more time. The 5 would go to 5 ones. But that is only 2 shifts. So we're going to shift a third time. So that 5 is in the 10th place. So here you have your decimal, and you don't have to worry about the rest. You do have to copy them. They just fill up the other place values you have there. Here, I like to put a 0 for the ones place. Again, remember I told you 536 was not enough to divide by 1,000? Sure enough, see, nobody gets 1 whole. We all get something less than that, because this is not enough to give all 1,000 1 whole. Okay, so 536 divided by 1,000 equals 536 thousandths. It's in the decimals place. And if we go back here, that means that's the answer to the answer. 536 grams equals 0.536 kilograms. Okay. One more. Excuse me. We're going from liters to milliliters. So we go here. I don't see milliliters here, or I don't see, liters to milliliters. Sorry. So here I see liter, and is going to convert to milliliters. So I'm going forward, I'm going to multiply, and I'm going to multiply by 1,000. This one, we talked about it. It's very easy, right? You think about the 6 only. That's 6 in the ones. 6 times 1,000 is 6,000. So this 6 here is now in the thousands place. 6,000. What do we put after the thousand? A comma, right? What happens to the 5? Well, it comes right after. So what is after the 1,000? That 5 goes here. You can even copy the number, but you cannot leave it that way because this is 6,570. So I need to put that 0 here. And that's your answer for milliliters. Now we have a word problem that we did in class. And as far as converting, you did fine. One thing you do need to pay attention to, it says here we are going to convert the dimensions, which is inches. They gave it to us in inches, but they want the answer in yards. And this is when we talked about it's the same process, except that you have 2 steps, not only one. You're not going from inches to foot. You're going from inches to yards. So you have 2 steps here. And we talked about it. Okay, bye. Have a nice weekend. Sorry about it, guys. I didn't want to interrupt the video, but someone popped in the room. So you have inches and you have to go 2 yards. Well, when you look over here, the only place I have inches is here. And if I go this way, it goes to foot. It doesn't go to yards. Well, that's okay. Go for it. Do inches to foot. Okay, so we talked about this one. We did this one. So to go from inches to foot is backwards. We divide by 12. So I'm going to have my 144 and I'm going to divide by 12. However, we all know 12 times 12 equals 144. And that's 12 what? Foot. Okay, don't forget it. You can even write here, this is 12 feet. Then you do the same thing with this, 108 divided by 12 to go from inches to feet. Okay, so here you can try. We did is 12 times actually 9 because 9 times 10 is 90, 9 times 2 is 18, and 18 plus 90 is 108. So it's 9 what? Feet. Okay, be careful. We are going from inches to feet. So here is 9 feet. However, remember, we have to go 2 yards now. You can't stop here. How do we go from feet to yards? Feet to yards. I'm going backwards. I'm dividing by 3. Okay, so what is 12 feet divided by 3? Well, 12 divided by 3 equals 4. 4 what? Yards. So here, I don't care about this anymore. I don't care about the feet anymore. I want the answer in 4 yards. There's only one question like this on the test, okay? 9 feet to go 2 yards. You go backwards, you're dividing by that 3, so 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So I don't want inches, I don't want feet, I want 3 yards. Okay, so that's what we figured out. 4 yards here, 3 yards here. So 2 steps. Then you got to part B. It says find the area of the rug in yards. Remember, this was 4. We don't need this because we wanted it in yards. So 4 yards times this was 3 yards. Well, how do we find area? This is an old standard, right? From 3rd grade. Length times width. Area is length times width. So it's 4 times 3. So area equals 4 times 3, which equals 12 square, because we are talking about area. So I have to have the word square, yards, because he wanted to know the area in yards. Okay, so this part is actually the easiest part of the problem. The hardest one is converting. All you have to understand, you have to do it twice. You have to go from inches to feet and then feet to yards. 2 steps. Okay. The next question, It is. Leslie has a watering can that holds 3 liters of water. She uses 500 milliliters of it for each plant that she waters. Okay, we want to know how many plants she can water. So basically, you are breaking up this, you're dividing those 3 liters into groups of 500 milliliters to be able to see um, how many plants you can water with those 3 liters. But the thing is, the question is, I cannot figure out until I change this. I would suggest changing liters because liters here to milliliters, remember, is the easiest because all you have to do is multiply by that 1,000. Then it gives you the total of the 3 liters in milliliters. Then you just decide how many of 500 milliliters do I have in there. Okay, so how do we do this? Again, we're going to change the liters to milliliters. So 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. Well, 3 liters is 3 times 1,000, which equals 3,000 milliliters. So this one, I'm not going to use it like this. I'm going to use 3,000 milliliters, which is the same amount in 3 liters. Okay. Now we want to know every time I water the plant, I use 500 milliliters. So 500 milliliters is one plant. Another 500 milliliters is another plant. Well, 500 plus 500, that is 1,000. Then 500 milliliters, it's another plant. Another 500 milliliters. So here I have 1,000 milliliters. Ooh, so I have another 500 milliliters and another 500 milliliters here. So it's 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000. That equals 3,000 milliliters. How many plants was I able to water? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plants. This is 2 steps. You convert the liter to milliliters, which is easier to do than go back 500 milliliters to this. Okay, much easier. And then you have to decide what you're doing. Let's say you wanted to go from milliliters, change to liters instead. So 5, you would go from milliliters to liters. You would divide by 1,000. So it's 500 divided by 1,000. 500 is half of 1,000, right? So 500 is not enough to give everybody one, but maybe it's enough to give everybody half. Well, remember, 500 is not enough to divide by this. This is the shifting. You're shifting it 3 times. So that 500 goes to tens, to the ones, and then to the 10th place. So it's 0.5. I can't put 2 zeros here, but I don't have to. Look at this. This is half liter. So that is just going backwards. You can do that too. And then you have 3 liters. Well, half liter plus half liter is 1 liter. Then another half liter plus half liter is another liter. Okay, and you would still get those 6 plants watered. This is the one that many of us struggled with, not necessarily because you don't know how to convert. You know how to convert the tons to pounds. That's very simple. All of you know in your heads right away. Okay, but you didn't understand what the problem was asking you. So that is a reading question. So you need to be careful and you need to ask yourself what's happening. So I'm going to actually think about this question and I'm going to actually cover this. Don't worry much about the numbers at first. Try to understand what the problem is asking you. So say Samir owns a construction company and needs cement. He needs cement to fix the city sidewalks. Okay, that's what he needs. Cement. The company already has cement in storage. It means in their office, in their construction company, they already have cement, in this case, some cement in storage. How many more pounds does Samir need to buy? So he needs to go to the store to buy cement because he needs some here, right, to repair the city sidewalks. He needs some to repair, but he already has some. Change this. If you're at word like cement, what is cement? What is a construction company? Think about cookies. I'm going to have a birthday party. Okay, I'm going to have a birthday party and I need 25 cookies. I already have 12 cookies. How many cookies do I still need to buy? Well, when you go to the store, I need 25. Well, am I going to buy 25 cookies? No, because I already have 12 at home. So I just need to buy that little difference between 12 and 25. And that little difference is subtraction. So you get 25, take away 12. 25 is what you need. Take away what you have, which is going to be 13. 13 is what you need to buy. This is what you need for the party. This is what you already have. This is what you need to buy at the store. So you do subtraction. So here is the same thing. So they give it to you that he needs to go to the store and he needs to go buy 4 tons of cement. So someone came with a paper and said, hey, for you to be able to fix all the sidewalks in the city, you need to buy 4 tons of cement. He said, okay. He looked at the paper. He said, let me see if I already have some cement in my storage. Well, he realized he already had some, except that that sum is written in pounds. And my question wants the answer in pounds. So this is one of the easiest ways to convert, or the easiest ones to convert. So let's change the tons to pounds. So here, if you go here, 1 ton is 2,000. So for you to go from ton to pounds, you're moving forward in your reference sheet. So you're multiplying by that 2,000. Well, so 4 tons times 2,000 equals 8,000 pounds. That's the number we're going to use. So I'm not going to use this anymore. I'm going to use 8,000 pounds. But ask yourself, what does 8,000 pounds represent? It represents what he needs to buy to fix it. However, he already has 3,000. So this is what he needs to buy. That he needs to be able to fix the sidewalks, not that he needs to buy. This is what he needs to be able to fix the sidewalks. But he already has this much saved for him, saved in his storage. So he needs this to fix, or the sidewalks, but he already has this. So when he goes to the store to buy, because he does need to buy more cement, he doesn't have enough. He only has this, right? He needs 8,000. So when he goes, he's not going to buy 8,000 pounds because then he's going to have too much. But how much is he going to buy? Let's take away what. So this is what to fix the sidewalk. This is what he has to have. He already has this. So let's take away what he has from what he needs to see what he has to go and buy at the store. So 0, take away 0 is 0. When it comes to this, remember, 0 is not enough to take away 8. So many of you borrow from here, then have to borrow from that. One suggestion I gave you, you can do that. If it works for you and you are used to it, go for it. One suggestion I gave you is that this 0 cannot take away 8. So you go to the 0. Well, you can't do that. So just borrow from 80 instead. Well, take a 1 from 80 is 79. That one you borrowed goes to this. So this is a 10. 10 take away 8 is 2. 9 take away 5 is 4. And 7 take away 3 is 4. So he does need still 4,420 pounds. Okay. Now, if you want to go, I'm going to do the subtraction the way everybody does with the borrowing, because I don't want you to get confused. Some You can do whichever works for you. 0 take away 0, I can't. 0, I can't, so I have to borrow. I can't, so I have to borrow from here. This turns into 7. Then you put a 10 here. Now I have enough here to borrow 1, 9, and then the 1 here. Now, remember, when we did 80, we took 1 away. Wasn't it 79? Look at that 79 here. So 10 take away 8 is 2. 9 take away 5 is 4. 7 take away 3 is 4. 4,420 pounds is what he still needs to buy. Okay, I don't know if I have any other problem. Or I have one here. I'm not going to be solving it, but I just want to say a kitten weighs 500 grams. A puppy weighs 2 kilograms. Which weighs more? Well, for you to be able to compare, you need to change. Kilograms to grams is the easiest one. Let's go back here. Kilograms. Oh, I don't have, sorry. Let me go back here. I don't have a sheet here, a picture, and I don't have one handy. But what it means is to go from kilograms, my marker's not showing it. Okay, to go from kilograms to grams, we multiply by 1,000. We are going in the direction we read. If you look at your sheet there, okay? So get the 2 kilograms multiplied by 1,000, that equals 2,000 grams. So which weighs more, the puppy or the kitten? The puppy. The puppy weighs 2,000 grams. The kitten weighs only 500 grams. But they do ask, how much more does the puppy weigh? Well, you would have to do the 2,000 grams for the puppy minus 500 for the kitten, and it would be 1,500 grams. So this is the extra that the puppy weighs compared to the kitten. Okay, I think we have a couple more. Male African elephants have an average length of 7.5 meters. What is the combined average length in centimeters of 5 male African Americans? Well, they gave it to you in meters, but they want the answer in centimeters. First thing, I would go from meters to centimeters. And 7.5 meters to centimeters, if you look on your sheet, meters to centimeters, you're going forward in the direction you read, and you're multiplying by 100. Be careful when you find centimeters is by 100. Remember the centipede we talked about? There's 100 legs. So that's why we have centimeter is for 100. So times 100. Forget about this. Think about the 7. What is 7 times 100? Well, 700. So your 7 now is 700. Put your 5 after it. 750, right? So then you'd have to put a 0 here. So the elephant in centimeters is 750 centimeters. That is for one elephant. We want to know 5. Well, so then it's 750 times 5, or 750 plus 750 plus 750 plus 750 plus 750. And you will get the answer, the total for 5 elephants in centimeters. Okay, so convert first, then you do what they are asking you to do. Ostrich eggs weigh about 3 pounds. About how many ounces would 5 ostrich eggs weigh? So here is, they gave it to you in pounds and they want it in ounces. So you're going to go from pounds to ounces. On your sheet is going forward in the direction you read. So you're going to multiply, and that means the number in the middle between pounds and ounces is 16. Okay, so how many ounces would 5 eggs? So here, this is for one egg. One egg would be 3 times 16 is 48 ounces. So when you figure this out, you figure out one egg. They want to know 5 eggs. So then you do 5 times 48 and you would get it. Or 48 added 5 times. Okay, see if I have another one. Nope, that's the last one. I think the test is going to be easier than you think. Just be careful to know, and I may say that to you on the test. when I read it, I may read the questions and say, remember, this is going from centimeters to meters. I will tell you where it's going from what to what, but it's your job to look on your reference sheet and decide, am I going forward on this sheet? You multiply. Am I going backwards on this sheet? You have to divide. Also, it's your job to be able to multiply and divide correctly. If you don't do your division or multiplication correctly, you're going to get the answer incorrect as well. And third thing is you have to be careful if it's two steps. Okay, I can't go from inches to yards right away. You have to go from inches to foot, and then whatever you get from foot, you go from foot to yards. Okay, and you may have other questions. You just have to see where you're going. So practice this. Uh, I showed you if you put on Google conversion of measurements worksheet, you search that and you go to images, you see tons of sheets there that you can practice converting. If it, all you need is converting practice, okay? But don't forget the word problems, okay? We're gonna have to practice reading them more. Sounds good? All right, you're gonna be fine. I promise you. So I hope you have a great weekend. It's right now 4 o'clock, and I'm gonna go home too. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Bye.